to welcome next 2026 Royal Enfield Classic 350 is one of those. A bike that blends vintage soul with modern sensibilities. If you're thinking about buying it, or just want to see what's new, this is the video for you. Let's start with what powers this beast. Under its teardrop-shaped tank lives a 349 cc, single-cylinder, 4-stroke air-oil-cooled engine, mated to a 5-speed constant mesh gearbox and a wet, Mosia-played clutch. For 2026, that means you get roughly 20.2 bhp at 6,100 revolutions per minute and 27 Nm of torque at around 4,000 revolutions per minute are the same tried-and-true numbers that have made the Classic 350 a solid mid-weight cruiser. What that really means on the road: the engine gives you strong low-end punch, ideal for city commuting, slow cruising, and manageable overtakes, while still having enough grunt for highway stretches. The vibe isn't race bike, but steady, confident rider. What's lovely is how smooth the ride feels. The current generation J-Series platform, which the 2026 still uses, incorporates a balancer shaft that does a good job of taming the vibrations that riders of older classics sometimes complained about. For most speeds, from relaxed city riding to 80–90 mph on the highway, the ride remains composed and confident. As for practicality, the 13.8-liter fuel tank gives reasonable range, and the fuel injection system plus the engineering make the Classic 350 reasonably efficient. Real-world mileage tends to hover around 35–36 km/l under mixed riding conditions. That's decent for a 350 cc cruiser, especially if you ride frequently. Turning to design and ergonomics, this is where the Classic 350 really shines. If you've loved the old-school Royal Enfields, you're going to appreciate the 2026 update. The bike retains its signature retro cruiser styling: round headlamp, teardrop fuel tank with the iconic badge, curved mudguards, and vintage-inspired side panels. But it also unapologetically embraces modern touches. For example, LED headlamp, LED tail lamp and pilot lights, on many variants, giving safer riding at night and a slightly more contemporary appeal. Your riding posture on the Classic is upright and natural, not sport aggressive, not super laid-back cruiser style, but comfortable for urban riding as well as manageable long rides. Seat height is about 805 mm, and with a curb weight of roughly 195 kg, the bike strikes a balance between stability and usability. Suspension-wise, you get 41 mm telescopic forks up front and twin-tube emulsion shock absorbers at the rear with 6-step adjustable preload, good enough to soak up city potholes and handle long road trips without killing comfort. Braking and safety have also been brought up to date. 300 mm front disc with a twin-piston caliper, 270 mm rear disc, and dual-channel ABS, on modern variants, ensure that stopping power matches the bike's classic looks. Let's talk features. The 2026 Classic 350 doesn't settle for being just old-school pretty. The instrument cluster blends analog and digital, giving you vintage styling plus functionality like a digital odometer, fuel gauge, a gear position indicator, and other useful readouts. On certain variants, you also get a USB Type-C charging port, adjustable levers, modern LED turn indicators, and in premium trims a tripper navigation pod, a nice touch for riders who occasionally hit longer journeys. So far you're getting a motorcycle that cleverly bridges nostalgia and practicality. But what about price? Well, while global MSRP may vary depending on market and taxes, we have a sense of local pricing. For example, in Pakistan, the Classic 3502025, similar/previous generation, is listed around PKR 1,296,000. Of course, 2026 might attract a slight premium depending on availability, variant, and import duties. I bet this gives a useful ballpark if you're watching price here. What stands out as unique selling points for the 2026 Classic 350 is exactly this balancing act. Classic styling plus modern convenience plus manageable power plus comfort plus reasonable economy. It doesn't try to be a full-blown superbike, it doesn't need to. Instead, it offers that rides around town in style, cruise on highways with ease, look good doing it package that few motorcycles in the mid-size segment genuinely deliver. That said, nothing is perfect. If you're expecting blistering acceleration or Sparta bike-level agility, the Classic 350 will feel relaxed. With its 349 Macran cc engine and modest 20.2 bhp, overtaking at high speeds requires planning, and performance is geared toward cruising rather than racing. Also, its weight and somewhat conservative geometry make it less nimble compared to lighter commuter-style bikes. And while modern features are included, it still retains a lot of traditional touches. So if you're expecting a fully modern motorcycle, there are other bikes better suited for that. But that's the magic of the Classic 350. It doesn't pretend to be anything other than what it is. It's a cruiser with soul. For riders who value style, comfort, reliability and that iconic Royal Enfield feel, 2026's Classic 350 is a solid choice. So if I were to sum it up, the 2026 Classic 350 manages to stay faithful to the heritage while evolving just enough for today's roads. It's not about how fast you go, it's about how good it feels. Reliable, stylish, comfortable, and easy to live with, it remains one of the best mid-size cruisers in its class. If you like this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe to Bike Next for more reviews and let me know in the comments. Are you buying the 2026 Classic 350? What's your favorite variant? Ride safe.